And we're ready to begin, and we're so pleased you're here. And as we've said, we wanted to get out ahead of you, as we have always done. But today is the day before we wanted you to have the big reveal, but we had to do it today because you can see that what we gave you on April 4th in 2008 is exactly what you're experiencing now, but we wanted to get out ahead so that you would understand the energetic changes that are occurring so that you would make the proper changes in your life to become the abundant being that you're meant to be. And it's not accidental of where the energies are concentrated in your world and why in the United States you're looking at your stock market that's just gone completely out of whack, and that's because we have given you a new way because we wanted more of you to understand the value of who you are, which had nothing to do with the amount of wealth that you might possess now. It is about the willingness that you have to embody who you are and who you can become. You become more in your consciousness, and it is an evolutionary path that you each take, but your world does the same thing. It's a collective path that you are all on. But you happen to be in the earth now at a very dynamic time, which we have called your restructuring, and you have not understood why the energies of your world have affected you in the ways that they have. But we're saying that it's all for the better if you decide to love yourself, if you decide to do what you came to the world to do. And what we're saying is, each of you came to the earth plane with a valuable purpose, worth, and something you were meant to develop and bring to have manifest now. And as you do that, you become the abundant being you were meant to. And then you will not be so distraught by what you're seeing or witnessing now in your world. Again, it's all energy. When we first began, the very first message that we gave you, when we finally convinced our messenger that we had so much to tell you all because we wanted you to move through this period of great transition with greater ease. And that's why we've done everything. And so today we wanted to make it very clear so that all of you understand what we have given our messenger and what it was intended to do. It was intended to give each of you the ability to live really wonderful lives, and then you will create the world that you all desire to see. It is about your soul. When you each come into the earth plane, when you're born, you are a soul. You don't have a physical ethnicity or race or gender or any of that. You have a soul, and that is something that is internal. And it's within each of you. But what has happened over centuries, we love using eons because we want you to think in bigger terms, but over eons, you have taught yourselves that you were inadequate, that you weren't the ones that could change things, that you could create something, and then you keep passing on those beliefs to others. We have said that we gave you the next level of understanding of consciousness for humankind. But we understand that's challenging for you to believe because you think only in linear time. Everything is happening in this sequential way. It's not. Everything is happening right now. But you have not developed the ability to be able to manifest things instantly, so it takes you linear time that you have to use to move through the barriers and the blockages that you have that could tell you how great you are. But we've given you all of it. And we've proven it because we are exhibiting our messenger, who is now 74, who is in the best health and has gone through every possible human condition that you all have had, but he's healed it all with the information we have given him. We can't cause you to believe that anymore. This is why we keep talking about cognitive dissonance, because you all have it. He had it as well, which is why we took the last couple of days and put out more things to show you that there is organization in your universe. Doesn't matter where you came from, came at the right time and you have purpose. And so what we had him do was to go back and see all the messages that we have given you over galactic and astrological changes in your world, because that's energy moving. Even though many of you think that has nothing to do with what is occurring, it does, because everything is energy. You can't create something in your physical world without the use of energy, because that is all that exists. Now it just depends on how you decide to use it, and you use it on yourself, and you decide whether you're going to love yourself or if you're going to still be afraid of what you can do. Those are the only choices that you have. But you need help, and so what we have given you is help. We've given you a messenger who spent his entire life bringing through this information so that you could all evolve. Now, we will tell you, and we had him reveal it today, and he didn't know that was going to happen because he knew 19 years ago that he was meant to do this, but couldn't bring it about because your world hadn't shifted yet. And now you see it. What we're saying is that there's timing in everything for each of you. So we don't want you to judge yourself. We just want you to move. And so the reason that we're doing this today is because your world is moving through another energetic change, which is going to have a lot to do with your money and your worth. And we wanted you to know how worthy you were, which is why, again, we're putting this out a day early, even though we have given you all of the information eons ago. But it couldn't have been received by you because it takes time for you to integrate infinite intelligence into your being so that you can live the life that you are meant to have and so that you can heal. When we say heal, that means coming back together, owning every aspect of you. Now that's on the spiritual plane, but what happens when you do it as you're in this earthly body? You heal. And this is what we have proven to you with our messenger. But he's done the same thing you have. He's held himself back because he has this generational belief that told him he couldn't charge enough money. You see, this is what we were coming around to. And then what happens is you keep carrying on that idea in your collective consciousness that does not allow all of you to prosper and become the abundant beings that you can, because none of you were born inadequate. It's just a consciousness, and what we have done is given you step by step a way to change your consciousness and become the beautiful being that you could, and we've done it over time. Now, you cannot figure out how the messages that we gave you on this day from 2008 and every single year built a trajectory to lead you to today, but they did. And we can even prove it scientifically again because they're energies. Now, some in your world have figured out ways of interpreting energies to understand, and many of you use astrology or whatever, but they're all energies of the emotions that you each carry, and they become collective. Our being developed something else, and we've told him and you that he developed a super consciousness, which is why he could see all the information and receive it and bring it to you, and which is why it causes healing and why he could heal all these incurable things that many of you thought you had. You do not. You just have an unwillingness to move or to believe, and you get stuck in your old belief. Because, see, it doesn't make sense that a being like this could be sitting around and just channeling information, and it makes sense. Well, we'd like to ask you, where do you think consciousness comes from? And who has it? And who told you that you don't have it? Again, it's all about belief. And the only thing you lack is lack of self-belief. That's all. And so it's a process, and it's a process that you go through in your life, throughout your life, which we call your ascension journey, but many of you think of it as personal development or self-actualization. But as we've said, they're all the same. You just decide if you're going to do it. But now you know that you have a way of doing it. And what we wanted to do, and we orchestrated all of this, and our messenger had no clue as to what we were up to, but we wanted to finally tell him and all of you, which we've said many times, but you might believe it today, especially as you start looking at your world and seeing it kind of feeling like it's kind of splitting apart, or you're looking at your life and wondering why you're stuck and why you don't have what you could, because you haven't taken the steps to understand your value and who you are. And it is a process. Now, our messenger has had to live this, so it was different for him, but that's the role that he accepted. You each accepted something. And it doesn't matter what they were. His role, you will look at it and you think, how could his life have been so horrible? How could it have been so difficult and challenging? How could he have gone through all of these things and still be here now at this age and doing this? It's because we gave him the work. We gave him everything. But we just can't have him cause you to believe. But what he has done is the same thing many of you have done, and he's held himself back because he didn't understand the value. And now what we're saying is, you're seeing this in your world today, and it's being based in the United States, where you have been controlled by those who have had wealth and power over eons, and they've been disguised in certain beings who said that they have more power than you. No one has that. You have all equal power. And this is what we wanted you to understand. And the restructuring that you're moving through currently is to bring back that balancing. But many of you have been stuck, and our messenger has not helped, as we've said, because he got stuck. But the reason he got stuck is because of this, and we exposed it today. He has done something that no one in your world has ever done. He was able to sit and receive cosmic guidance and information that was connected to the galactic changes of your world, and it caused him to heal, and now he can give that information to you. And this is why we said to him that we had given him a message on your birthday in 2012. And each of you who have met him and had your messages read understood that that was correct, because we wanted to show you that you each have this divine plan. Even though those words may not make sense to you, you do. You weren't born any less than another person. You've just thought something else, and you've thought it generationally and collectively, which is why we have given you a new philosophy called your life operating instructions. And the more of you who use it, you will live great lives, and you'll start to manifest the world that you want, because it will be far more loving and you will be far more abundant. And we've given you all the tools and everything you need to be able to do that. The only thing we can't do is cause you to believe it. But what we will do is move our messenger to the higher state so that more of you will follow and start doing something that causes your world to shift in the dynamic that you want it to be. You have that ability. And as you look at the messages that we have given you, you will not be able to figure out how we did it on each April 4th over all of these years, but there is organization in your universe that some of you figure out, and our messenger we've given him a way to understand it, and it was unknown. We're saying it was unknown because each of you have something within you that's a gift, that's a gem that is waiting to be developed, and it's an energetic contribution that you will make, that because it'll be of light and love when you decide to do it, and then collectively you will all shift your world, and what you're experiencing now will be past. Now you have a little bit of time because more of you aren't moving, but this is why we have to move our messenger. But you're at this dynamic point, and it's going to be here for the next several days, which is why we're doing this today, and the next time is going to be on your full moon. And so we hope more of you have moved by then, because you want to take advantage of that energy. And as we've said, everything is energy. You may not have connected it fully to the movement of your planets or the moon or anything else, but we're saying that's what happens, which is why we had our messenger delineate so much of that so you could understand it. You each have special skills within you. You just may have judged them and called them something else, as our messenger did, because he thought something was wrong with him, rather than he had an exceptional gift. That's what you each have, and we will get you to believe it, because that's what the role was he accepted, and now we're so grateful that he's going to do it, as we want all of you to do that next thing. And please believe in who you are, because you came to the world to offer something of great value, and it's within you, and it's waiting to be mined. And we want you to think of it in that way, because you feel like you've been under this pressure, and you were, because the diamond is now ready to come forward. Just please do it. And we love you all so much.